This is the Chronicles podcast. This is the Chronicles podcast, where we inspire, nurture, and amplify kingdom voices in the media.
Welcome back to the third episode of the Chronicles podcast, where we inspire, equip, and broadcast hope in this digital age. I remain Debbie, your host. It's so great to be back here. We want to say a very huge thank you to everyone who tuned in to our last episode. If you have not listened, you need to listen to it. If you are new here, we say welcome to you. In our last episode, we talked about the burden of media in this technology age, and we also established the fact that a lot of people are being discipled daily by what they see or what they hear online. Media does not tell you what to think, it tells you what to think about. I remember Toluwani mentioning that in our last episode. Whether we like it or not, media shaping our views, it shaping our perspective and behaviors. Media has a way of making you do exactly what it wants you to do. Having established the burden, the weight of responsibility that comes with media in this technology age, but now the question is, what do we do about it? It is one thing to recognize the problem, but solutions require action. How do we, as kingdom-driven media practitioners, take our place and shift the narrative? We can't just talk about it. We must be intentional about making an impact. First, we need mindset transformation. If we see media as a mere hobby or something separate from ministry, we will never maximize it for God's agenda. Think about David in 1 Samuel chapter 17. David did not just see Goliath as a giant. He saw him as an opposition to God's purpose. That is exactly the kind of mindset we need in media. Every false narrative, every destructive ideology being pushed online is like Goliath standing in defiance against kingdom truth. So, just like David, we must step forward and take action. And David didn't just wait for someone to give him permission. He took what he had, a sling and stones, and used it. In the same way, what do we have? Yes, I mean you. What do you have? Do you have a phone? You can start creating content. Do you have a skill in writing? Start blogging or crafting impactful posts. Do you know how to design? Use visuals to shape kingdom narratives. Are you good at speaking? Start a podcast or a YouTube channel. God has given everyone something. Don't say, I don't have anything, or it doesn't even concern me. Every one of us has a role to play in this move. Don't just think that you don't have what you need to start. Start with whatever it is you have. And don't you think that nobody will give you audience? Well, think of the apostles. These guys were threatened and even beaten for the sake of the gospel, yet they did not back out. Look at Apostle Paul and even Stephen, who at the point of death still stood for the gospel. You need to make a decision to put to use that which God has given you for his purpose. Don't shrink back. Yes, you will be insulted or even criticized, but Jesus also suffered this. Why then should we shrink back? There is no excuse for silence in this digital age. And another thing, excellence matters. Let's be real, some Christian content is not engaging simply because it lacks quality. People are drawn to well-produced content, high-value storytelling, and creative visuals. That is why the world invests billions into media. Look at major brands, movies, and music. They put effort into presentation because they know that is what captures attention. As kingdom media practitioners, we serve the God of excellence. Look at Exodus chapter 31 from verse 1 to 6. God filled Bezalel with wisdom, with skill, and creativity for the work of the tabernacle. That means creativity is spiritual. If we're going to be effective, we must commit to continuous learning, skill improvement, and innovation. And that is exactly why collaboration is key. No one person can do it all. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9, two are better than one because they have good reward for their labor. The world understands this. That is why influencers collaborate, brands form partnerships, and media houses work together. But sometimes, in the kingdom space, we see competition instead of collaboration. That has to change. It is time for unity. Imagine if Christian creatives, videographers, writers, designers, and strategists all work together intentionally to flood digital platforms with kingdom-driven content. That will be a movement, not just individual effort. I remember Toluwani mentioning in our last podcast, she was saying how that imagine if you go to Instagram and out of 5 posts or 5 reels, you see like 3 content that are actually kingdom content. They're actually talking about our faith. Do you know how massive that is? And this is something we need to emphasize. We are not here to react to culture. We are here to set the culture. We shouldn't only post about Jesus when a controversy arises. We must be consistently creating, leading conversations, and building platforms that push God's agenda forward. The early church in Acts chapter 2 verse 42 to 47 grew rapidly because they functioned as a community, not isolated individuals. It is time we return to that model in the media space. Let us break it down. The response to the burden of media in the technology age requires, first, a transformed mindset. We need to see media as a divine assignment, not just a tool. Second, taking action. Use what you have and start where you are. Don't wait until you have all the equipment. Start with whatever it is you have. Third, excellence in content creation. You need to invest in skills, in creativity, and in quality. Fourth, collaboration over competition. Work together to amplify kingdom voices. And lastly, consistency in kingdom narratives. Be intentional about leading conversations. That's the call to action right there, people. And it starts with each of us asking, what role am I playing? Because the truth is, if we don't take responsibility, someone else will take the platform. That is why we see a lot of disturbing content online these days. And as we round up today's discussion, let's encourage everyone listening to take this seriously. The Chronicles podcast is not just about discussions. We are not just here to talk and talk. It is about mobilizing a generation of kingdom media practitioners. To everyone listening, ask yourself, what content am I consuming and how is it shaping me? You need to check yourself. Look at the content you consume and look at how it has been shaping you. Second, what content am I creating and how is it shaping others? Look also at what you have been posting. How has it been shaping others? And lastly, what step will I take to align with God's agenda in the media space? This is the time to rise. The world is speaking, but are we speaking louder? Let us make a commitment to own our space, tell our stories, and disciple nations through media. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in, engaged, and shared their thoughts. This has been such a rich conversation. I hope everyone listening today is feeling stirred to take their role in media seriously. If this conversation blessed you, make sure to share it, Tag us on social media and let's keep the movement growing. As a thank you for tuning in, like we mentioned in our last episode, we have a special digital resource for you, the Kingdom Media Playbook, a guide to help you create impactful content. Visit our website or check the podcast description to download your free copy. So, here is what you can do. Subscribe to the Chronicles podcast so you can never miss an episode. Follow us on social media and engage with us. Start using media skills for kingdom impact. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. It is time for a new wave of digital revivalists to rise. If you're listening to this, you are part of that movement. Let's change the narrative. Until next time, stay inspired and keep broadcasting hope. Thank you. Bye.
This is the Chronicles podcast, where we inspire, nurture, and amplify kingdom voices in the media.